Well, good evening, everybody. December 15th, man, Chris is around the corner, and 2026 is nipping at our heels here, coming towards us, if you will. We're going towards it. So it's exciting to have you on this basic training that we do every Monday night at 7 p.m. And by the way, we do a basics training every Monday and then a team call on Tuesdays, 7 p.m., and then a leadership call on Wednesdays. And all three of those meetings are designed to help you go as far as you possibly want to and can in this opportunity. And so the basic training is very important. If you're going to excel in anything in life, you got to excel in the basics. Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, would practice 3:34 in the morning, every morning, well after he had won all the accolades on the court in the morning without a ball in his hand. They asked him, Kobe, what are you doing? He goes, why do you think I'm the best player in the world? In his mind, because I never get bored with the basics. So we make sure we crush those basics on Monday night. And tonight I got a special treat for you. And then it's important to have community. And so Tuesday nights is our community where we celebrate wins, celebrate testimonials, and get some really great nuggets to be able to continue to win the week. And then Wednesdays is leadership. Your organization can only rise to the level of who you are. And if you're not consistent in the delta of change, being willing to improve yourself, then you're going to stifle the growth that you could for the whole organization. So if you're leaning into this opportunity, then you want to be on those calls. And these are recorded, by the way, also. Remember, in this opportunity, we tell you it's your faith first, then your family, then your work, and then this down here. And don't change that order. This is not a full-time thing, alrighty? And it's not a thing designed to throw the most important things in your life out of whack. So keep that in order and you'll find yourself prospering. My wife and I, that's what we did. We got to 4 times our day job, my company's income, whilst doing this part-time, keeping things in order. And, if you want to, potentially, maybe you can too, and so what a blessing. So here's what I'm gonna do tonight. Thinking of myself, if I'm brand new in this business and I just came aboard today, there's some real raw basics you just got to know. And so we want to go ahead and help you with that. And so let me screen share with you a couple things. I'm going to get right to it. And then I got a special treat. We have a 37-minute. This is why you want to make sure you got your pen and papers ready. Dan McDaniel's, his wife, Diane, and Carrie are going to, I pulled a 37-minute excerpt out of a 2-hour training they just did over the weekend with their team. Remember, that team is down in my right leg. They're the fast growing team now in LifeWave. And so I want to make sure you're getting that kind of leadership insights to help you build your organization. And remember, we build the organization together with you. So we're all in this together. So, but let me just screen share with you a couple things real quick. And I'm going to, all righty. And let's see if I can take this now. Here it is. Okay, I think we got this. So if you're brand new, I just want to let you know you're part of the fastest growing team in the world called This Is It. This is a team started about 42 months ago, back in July of 2022 with Steve and Gina Merritt. At the time, the company was about 17 years old, and Steve and Gina Merritt hit the highest rank in this business in 23 days. That usually took 4 years to do, and they implemented a system that we all could follow so that we could win as quickly as possible too. And so we all use the This Is It team system, and you can go to thisisitteam.com and get plugged into seeing just who we're drawing from. So we're one big unified force under This Is It team. Well, it's hard to connect to now almost 700,000 people, fast growing team, in the world. And let me see if I can mute all that again, please bear with me. And so we create a community called Believers for Life so that we can be connected to you and make this granular for you. And so this is why we just call Believers for Life. We don't really use this name too much. It's just when we meet together, so you know who we all are. So this is a basic training. It's meant for all brand partners, not for brand new people who've never even worn the pass before or seen a presentation. So what I want to do, particularly if you're brand new, I want to let you know these are things that in the basics you usually want to need to know, right? You need to know a little bit about your back office, and you need to have your upline, your support team, we call it. Your support team are your three active brand partners above you. Who sponsored you, who sponsored them, and who sponsored above them. And in a bigger organization, as we grow, sometimes some people will grow inactive. So you continue to keep connected to the three people above you that want to support you because that's how this thing works. So you're never alone in this business. You always have a support in this. And that's where I have here using your upline. And then we have a school, SKOOL. That is where our resources are at. So you could grow. And I'm going to take you there into just a minute. And so we can go from there. But I just want to typify one thing that's very important. You need to understand what you have your hands on. Righty. So what you have your hands on is the most amazing opportunity on the planet. I mean, there isn't anything out there right now that can do this, what this does on a physical basis to bring hope to people you love and care about. Nothing, literally. Hey, and listen, if you find something, I want to be the first to know because you're not going to find it, I don't believe. And this is absolutely spectacular. And secondly, what's equally as powerful as this amazing technology is the opportunity that we're participating in because there is nowhere that I'm aware of that you can come in for just a few $100 or even $1,700, whatever, and come into a business that could pay you potentially, I'm not making any promises here, but could potentially pay you seven figures. I mean, if you buy a franchise, you're leveraging your house and it could be 18 months for you to even see a profit. You're working for somebody else. Here, you're working for you. And what's beautiful about this, you and I, we don't have a boss. No one tells us what to do, when to show up, what to do, how to do. Boom. We're all in the same boat, doing the same thing, following a simple system and helping each other win. It's a beautiful thing. And so, welcome, to the most amazing opportunity on the planet. And my wife and I are extremely thankful to have you with us. And like I said, within 22 months, this thing got to pay us 4 times what we were paying ourselves. And I have 3 people on my team who do better than we do. And we've helped set people free on our team that fired their jobs, and now live a better day. And helped a lot of people just making a couple $100 a week. And what are we doing? We're all caring and sharing. Caring for people is sharing this patch of hope and plugging into a system that makes it really easy. And I want to talk about here's about this system. What you want to write down is you want to write this. Get 4, help 3, get 4. So get 4, help 3, get 4. That's 6 words. Sorry, 3 words, 3 numbers. And we're going to unpack that structure of you getting 4 and then helping 3 get their 4. If you do that and build a team that does that, you'll make all the money that the 9 ways we get paid, and you'll go all the way up to I don't know if there is such a thing as a top. Because technically the income is potentially unlimited. And that is the pathway. Get 4, help 3, get 4. Alrighty. So if you're brand new to this opportunity, our goal is to help you get your first 4 people. And then as you continue to sponsor more people, you're going to be looking down with what we call 20/20 vision, which means you're going to be looking down to sponsor 20 people left, 20 people right. And you're looking down, okay, who are the next 3 people want to get their 4? That model right there in duplication takes us all the way to the top. There is your comp plan, if you will, right? That's the structure like a sponge that soaks up eventually the 9 ways we get paid. And believe it or not, there is a 10th way. It's called trips, because that's worth money, right? If you had to pay for a trip on your own, it'd have come out of your pocket. This company pays for trips. We have one going to Hawaii, and guess what? When you help get 4 people who do what you just did, which is basically you get an advance pack, which is a 6 or more, 6, 11, or 20 pack. You get a 6, 11, or 20 pack, and you help 4 friends get a 6, 11, or 20 pack. A, your packs are more than paid for. You're making profit. So your product's paid for and you got money coming in. You're a third of the way to Hawaii. Now, continue to enroll people and then looking down who wants to get their first four people. Find people to do that of the people you're enrolling. And you've hit the fourth highest rank in this business called director. And you're definitely going to Hawaii. You've got a friend you're taking with you to Hawaii, a plus one paid for basically. And now you just take that model and just replicate that through your team. And that's what we do. That's what I do. I'm helping you learn to do that, helping your brand new people do that. And then you plug into your support team to help you get the word out. And so you're going to find that you just need to be the preview, 2 to 3 minute conversations when you're calling your family and friends, play dumb. And when we're all coming in this, we all are dumb to the fact we don't know a whole lot. We're just excited. And then you want to then get those family and friends in front of your upline, in front of your support team, or in front of a Zoom. So you're going to learn more about this. You're going to hear more about this, and you understand that if this is a gateway to your financial freedom potentially, then think about this on a 2 to 3 year run by which you keep your faith, your family, your work in check, and then this, and plug into our team and system, and be consistent, and watch what can happen for you. So let me look at confusing 1 second here. All right, so I've got to play this video for you in just 1 second, but I want to show you a couple things. When you first come into this opportunity, most people want to know about their back office and about the comp plan. All righty. Well, I'm going to show you where you can find the comp plan, and I want to show you a little bit about your back office. So when you first, let me get rid of this here real quick here. Let me share my screen with you guys. So when you first came in, you got a back office, and your upline should have given you your login information to get to your back office, right? So let me go to mine real quick here because I want to show you a couple things. Actually, let's see. Yeah, let me do this here. See if this is going to take you to mine. Wow, system's slow. Huh. All right. When you first come here, it's going to look like this. And you're going to see home, store, commissions, organization, events, monthly subscriptions, orders, education, resources. Alrighty. If you want to know about the comp plan, they have 2 minute videos right here. It says education. You click it. Sorry, it's so slow, guys. And you're going to see here compensation documents and compensation videos. Well, you can just, I'd print the documents, but then I go to the videos, and you've got little 2 3 minute videos to see the compensation, the 9 ways to get paid, and you can watch it. You have an overview, what volume requirements are. That's a good one to understand that. Structure requirements, level versus generations. But then, basically, we have these bonuses here and how we get paid. And that's where it's customer earnings, product introduction bonus, level earnings bonus, binary bonus, mentor matching bonus, business launch bonus, breakthrough incentive, and quarterly leadership pools. These are all the ways we get paid. And, so this will be a great blessing for you, save you some time and gain some peace and gain some understanding as you begin to learn about this compensation as well. And that's where that is. All right. So coming back to our back office, when you come to, I'm going to pick up another back office here for you so I can show you what one looks like. Bear with me real quick here. So when you log in your back office, if you're new, it's going to look very potentially similar to this here. And you're going to come to this screen. Now, this person here is already a 1-star manager, but what happens is it gives you right here and here what is needed for you to hit the next rank. And all you have to do is click here. If it's green, that means they've met the requirement. There's 110 points, and you'll learn about that, but they've met the requirement. I just want to get you familiar with clicking here. And then here, they haven't. So they're close. They had 1,237 points out of 1,500 needed. and you just click on that, and it will pop up another screen, which will then show you kind of where the gap is. Get with your upline, and they'll explain this to you. Alrighty, I just want to get you familiar with it to get started. Right now, this person only needs 263 more points to equal 1,500 points, and so we'll explain that to you later. But I just want to let you know that that's here, and then also your commissions will be over here as well. You'll be able to see your commissions when you start getting paid right there as well. So this is the first screen you'll come to in your back office. If you want to know about the comp plan, click education here, and that's going to give you access. That's one of the ways by which you can see that. Now, the other thing that's important for you to understand is school. All right. So your upline should have given you a link for you to get into school. And once you're in school, it's very important that you basically understand there's really three primary areas. You're already come into the community. That's where you have, like, on Facebook, what's new and exciting and what's happening. But the key is we have this thing called Classroom. You click on Classroom, and if you're brand new, we have Launch Your LifeWave Business. What you want to do is you want to click on that, and then what you see on the right, we'll probably do something different like this. This is just a copy and paste text you can send somebody that you just introduced, and then it's a three-way text intro. But what's below it are the resources. These are videos. How to build fast with Luke Kinter, launch your business with Andy Hauser, how to earn with Danny McDaniels, the journey of success with Andy Hauser, basic training with Danny McDaniels. You watch these 5 videos, and this will give you a great start in this opportunity. It will really help get your mind around it. And then the respective forms we use are right below it in PDFs. So this one folder that I just took you to is the folder that you want to get a hold of in the classroom. This is the first one, Launch Your LifeWave Business. And so I just want to let you know, that's all you need to know if you're brand new. And if you've been around for a long time, go back through those too, because this is the foundation you'll be duplicating. Righty? Now, the other thing is here, sorry guys, is that we have a calendar. This is calendar. Click calendar, and then what happens is it gives you all the Zooms we have coming up. Either they're X39 presentation Zooms, invite people to, or brand partner Zooms to build the team with. That's what's here. But if what you want to do is, it's hard to see that, particularly on a phone, it just comes in dots. So what you want to do is you want to come into the right-hand corner, and you're going to click those 3 dots, and that will then give you, for like today, what's happening right now in a way that's easy and shareable. And by the way, if you've got people you want to introduce this opportunity, tonight at 8 o'clock, I mean, this is how we build this thing. You want to invite all your people you've been talking to watch Rick and Brittany Francis. He used to own an auto dealership in Houston as a partner. He didn't want anything to do with this business. And his wife said, what's it going to take to bring you home? She's never done this business before. And he said $50,000 a month. And she hit her first goal of $15,000 a month. I mean, like in 90 days. It was something crazy. And they got to $50,000 a month, I think, in less than 15 months. And she got him home. And they're powerful. So you don't want to miss that. That's at 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight, and again at 10. So this is how we build this business. We get eyeballs on Zooms, and so that's what's going on tonight. So you've got some game with that as well. And then tomorrow it shows what's going on. We have another great launch going on. Brooke, she's awesome, at 3 o'clock. We have our team call at 7 o'clock. I'm doing a launch Zoom at 8 o'clock, right? So, and then Wednesday, there's another one we're going to tell you guys about. And, but I just want to just keep you focused for today and tomorrow. Okay, so, all right, we're 22 minutes into this thing, and I just want to help you kind of get started, and just so you can get some familiarization as you get into this opportunity, it will become easy for you. All righty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Danny and Diane McDaniels and with Kerry Robinson. They're going to give you a really good walkthrough on how to say and what and how and the posture of what we do, so you can be comfortable in your own skin on doing what we do. And listen to these guys. They are on my team. They make more money than me, so I'm learning from them as with you. They were massive leaders in another organization before. Now they're massive leaders in our organization. So this is an honor for us to hear them out. Please make sure you got pen and paper in hand and you are glued to this screen. All righty, so it's going to change your life. And here we go. I'm going to open this up to you. Let me know you can hear this.
Welcome to this morning's team training, and we want you to know everything you can. And of course, you can't get it all in an hour, and you can't get it
I
all
am
in
you.
2 hours. That's impossible because this is a process. You guys are sitting on a business model that takes time, just like when someone buys a franchise. They don't start earning money for 18 to 24 months,
Like
sometimes
you still
longer.
hear it.
And that's just the franchise way. And so they make a big investment and they go through the training and then they start their business. But here, you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you do still have to go through the training. You have to know the processes, and it does take time, and you have to embrace that process. We're asking all of you to, if you joined LifeWave as a brand partner, to seek it as a business for an extra revenue stream in your life. We're asking you to, one, embrace the process, two, be patient, and three, make sure that you have a real commitment here, a commitment for a minimum of 2 years to 5 years, because it takes that. This is not get rich quick. You don't jump in and everybody starts making $10,000 a month in 3 months. It just doesn't happen that way. The model's not set up that way. Now, have there been people that have done that in the past? Yes, there has been people that have done that in the past, and there's a lot of variables that they could teach on that would cause that. But at the same time, you've got that you've got to take this as a time factor, as a time thing. And one of the very first trainings that we have is understanding time and commitment. And I'm going to start hammering that one more than ever. And so I'm asking you guys to really take that into consideration today, the time and commitment that it's going to take. And so we're going to kick it off with really talking about how we interact with people, how we engage with people and how we talk to people, and what we say and do that's effective in how we talk to people. So really on the subject of how to talk to people, okay? There's always this question of what do I say to people, and how do I say it? And how do I reach out to people? So, I'll let Diane or Carrie, kick that off and give some thoughts on how we initiate contact with people, and then what do we say to them?
Well, I'll be happy to jump in. I love that. First of all, here's what I know is that every conversation is the same, yet a little bit organic for me, right? Because people ask me all the time, like, what are you saying? And it really is pretty cookie cutter, but it goes back to listening to what people are saying to you. And so I've always learned to be a good person that asks good questions, because then that really will help you to know exactly what to say, because people are always saying out loud what they're dealing with or what their struggles are if you're listening to it. And so I personally love to wear my patch right here. So if I'm interacting with someone in public and they've said something out loud, I'm like, oh, girlfriend, you need to know about this, right? That's just an easy thing. Or if it's a gentleman, I'll say, hey, have you ever heard of this? And they're like, no, what is it? Tell me. And so that kind of goes back to just being able to get that tone in your voice, right? And making them want to know, what is it? I don't just go right into, well, you got to know about this, and this is X39 and blah, 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 right? So you've got to just kind of have that posture about, you need to know about this. And because it really, now there's an engaging conversation. Well, I heard you say, and listen, this is exactly what this does. And I tell them what X39 does for them in a very brief. And it's usually more through this is what it did for me. I mean, it's been life changing for so many. And then I'm very natural at saying, here, put your number in here. I've never had somebody say no to me. I just want you to know that, because a lot of times people are like, you just hand your phone to people and they do it. I'm not like a two-headed monster. I'm saying I can help you. I can change your life. In fact, here, put your number in here. And that is something that is just like, because it's so natural, because I don't fight it, I don't resist it, it just happens. And so then I am very systematic. I mean, if people that I've shared it with can tell you, I have been sending the same copy and paste message for almost 3 years. It is so cookie cutter. And I send it to them right there on the spot. And then I just go, hey, look at what I just sent you. I mean, oh, click on that. I tell them in under 10 minutes, you would know exactly what this does. Because here's my thing is that I know that as I'm engaging with the person, it's all about what's in it for them at all times. At the same time as I'm engaging with that person, I'm literally teaching them what we do. See, because if they think that I go home and write them a love letter, well, then they think, gosh, what do I write the next person? Or how do I do it? But when I show them copy and paste, I'm telling you, sometimes I wake up the next morning and I literally have 2 or 3 order forms in my text message from that same person. And they're like, what do I do with this? I shared this with a couple of friends and they're excited. And they filled out that form and I sent it to you. So what do I do? And that's whenever you know you have something very duplicatable. And so, we can move quickly, but when I'm talking to them, it's always very organic. Now, do I use the same terminology? 100% of the time, right? Because I use that excitement. When I first got started and I literally reached out and said, hey, what do I do? And I was given good advice. If you talk more than 2 to 3 minutes, you've probably lost them. I mean, we're talking about people, you got to have excitement and enthusiasm. And when you call them, it's just, hey, what do you know about? And so I just ask that question, hey, what do you know about stem cells? And then they're either going to tell you one of two things. They know a lot or they know absolutely nothing. And either way, the answer is still, you got to take a look at this. I mean, this is incredible. And so I send the message and then can I call you back in 10 minutes? I mean, sometimes it's that fast. Sometimes it's, hey, well, when you get a second today and I'll call you back later. But follow up is crucial in this business too. Because if somebody walks away from you and gets busy, then, maybe they didn't. So, and we'll talk more about that later. But I'm just telling you, as far as the interaction, it's always brief. It's always to that point. Now, there's going to be conversations that you might have with someone when they really start engaging and asking some more questions. And I'm always just trying to show them something. And so that goes back to knowledge is powerful. Knowledge brings confidence to you. It makes you fearless and unshakable. But if you give everybody every bit of knowledge that you know, you've just left them with the deer in the headlight look. And they will literally paralyze themselves. They might get started, but they certainly won't go tell the next person because they're like, how do I say all that? Nobody needs a PhD in how that works. And so that would just be something that I would add. Diane, you might have something else.
Okay, so you, I know I haven't even seen the chat, but I can imagine everybody and their dog right now is asking about what are you sending to people? So what's this copy and paste you're sending?
Yeah, it's in school, just for the record. It's been there forever. It's how to get started brand partner training.
No, we could probably say that 50 times today.
Yeah.
It's in school. It's been on school. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, look, they've already, they're teachable. It's already all in the chat. Multiple people have already posted my copy and paste message. So there it is.
And that's awesome. That's great. So, and what Carrie's talking about, of course, is those are organic conversations that are starting to take place as a result of people when you're out and about. We call it the 3-foot rule, just listening to people around you, having conversations, being willing to say something like, oh my gosh, have you heard of this? And, starting to, engage. But, for you guys that are new and, this list is always ongoing is the people that you already know. Like we want to make sure that you understand that you've got something that is going to make a huge impact in the people that you know and love. And as a result, we want you to stir up that excitement to want to go share with them. Like, right now, like Carrie is, while Danny was signing up, I was calling Carrie and telling her, hey, I'm about to send you a link. You got to order this and I knew nothing. I just heard the story. So don't feel like you have to know everything in order to share something that you're so excited about. So
well, the thing was, you said to Carrie, like, if this whatever this is does.
I said, if this does what Andy says it does, it's going to help your mom and your foot. And that's all I said.
Shit.
And she was so desperate for her foot to feel better. And we knew that her mom was extremely desperate to have some management for all of her discomfort. And so needless to say, that was something that she said, send me the link. So some people don't ask a lot of questions, because it's this relationship equity that you have, and they're going to do what you do because you're so close anyway. So be confident in that. And if they ask for more information, then, we can tell you the next steps. But when I started being intentional, like saying, okay, I'm going to reach out to X amount of people every day, as I started to engage on a casual basis. I mean, it was before we said we're doing this. I was like, people need to know about this. I just started with a simple text to my friend and say, hey, have you heard about the X39? And they would be like, no. And I go, when can you talk? That was it. So easy. That's all I said, because I wasn't worried if they were going to go Google it. I wasn't, because we have a relationship. We're friends. I wanted to get them on the phone. And so I said, when can we talk? So then we had a conversation. And what did I say is I said, and sometimes you know things about people and sometimes you don't. Like I knew some, like Harry, this is going to help your foot. Or my brother, hey, this is going to help your back. Or my brother-in-law, this is going to help your shoulder. But for people that I didn't know, I just said, hey, what do you know about stem cells? Just like Carrie said. And they would say, I don't know anything really. I know I've heard of them and I know what they do. So here's what you probably don't know is by the time you're 30, half of your stem cells are dormant. By the time you're 60, almost all of your stem cells are dormant. That's why as we get older, we look and feel older. And that's why we can't recover, because if you don't really know what a stem cell does, the purpose of it is that it recovers, it rejuvenates, and it restores your body. So therefore, this is something that we want. And I found a technology that is literally just completely holistic, and by putting it on your body, it's a patch. Your own light reflects off of it, and it actually through the process, it supports your body so that it starts to stimulate your own dormant stem cells. And as a result, people's bodies are getting healthy again. People are feeling better. And I'm blown away what's happening. And it depends on, where I'm going with the conversation, because needless to say, I'm always going to let people know. And in fact, Danny and I are so excited about it. We're wanting to, we're building a business, because some of our conversations are about building the business, and some of them are, hey, I need to get you started on the product. Just depends on where we're going. But it's that simple, and then if they want more information, then of course we've got things to back it up. Because if somebody says they want more information, I ask them two things. I said, do you like a presentation to watch and listen to, or do you like a link full of information? Because I give them two choices. Some people learn differently. So one is I'm going to send them the link, of course, is thisisaninfo.com. And then the presentation is one of the shorts out of school. I typically send them Dr. Tori and Patty. And that's a great short presentation that talks about the product. And then, hey, I'll watch and listen to this, and I'll follow up with you, later this afternoon or tomorrow, and just keep it super simple. And it's amazing. This is the easiest thing to share. Don't overthink it, and don't feel like you have to know a lot, because the second that they said something that I didn't know, I would just say, hey, that's a great question. First time I've been asked that. I'm just getting started. So, let me get, somebody that knows more than I do, or let me get my friend Andy on the phone, or let me get, put us, me and Andy in a three-way text, and we'll have that conversation, or we can definitely jump on the phone, and he can tell you more. So again, super simple. Using your support team is absolutely key. And you're going to be amazed at how easy this becomes as you just start those conversations.
Okay, so Diane said support team. Make sure if you're brand new, you find out who your support team is. Those are the 3 working brand partners that are above you. Would be your sponsor if hopefully they're working this business, especially if they just enrolled you, and then 2 others. That could be up to 6 people if they're married, but 3 working, distributorships, and get their phone numbers and be in a text group with them so that you can, get the answers that you need and the support you need as you're growing in this business. And so just know that what we're discussing right now, and really for this time period, is one-on-one conversations. We're not talking about social media. Social media there's much stricter guidelines, and we have those in school. The social media guidelines. I mean, there's things that there's just like, you can't post stem cells on social media. You can't say that kind of those things on social media.
You can't use the word stem cell when referring to the patch. So those 2 you can't do on social media. We're talking about personal conversations. Yeah. These are one-on-one with people that you know and love. Private settings are your freedom to explain it like you want to.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot because there's so much in us as far as conversation, but just know that we're always trying to keep things simple when we talk to people. And when you're contacting the people that you take your list, and there's people on your list that some of this you got to go through basic trainings, because as you make your list, there's a lot of people that you're just going to initially contact them about the product and how you can change their life on the product. And that will lead into a business conversation. That happened a week ago right here at our house, where my son and daughter-in-law brought a lady to our house that was she's actually a doctor. She's actually a stem cell doctor. I won't go into great detail about that, but she came over to learn about the technology and to ask some questions about the technology. She left the house, enrolled as a brand partner, and wanting to enroll her people in her family and get clients on it immediately, and look deeper at doing this as a business. Okay, but it started with a product conversation. So you can transfer those things, as you go. But then there's others that you're calling because you want them to be in business with you. So you want to adopt the words business partner. You want to adopt the word colleague. You want to avoid lingo. Always avoid company lingo when you talk to people. Don't talk about ranks. When you call someone new, don't talk about friend, mentor, sponsor. When you call someone new, that could be a red flag to them if they have any scarring from the past. So when you reach out to someone, like for me, when I reach out to someone, it's just, can you chat? When can you chat? I mean, for me, it's that simple. If I can't get you to respond to just talking to me, when do you have a few minutes to talk, or when do you have a few minutes to chat, then I don't know how deep our friendship is anyway. And so once I get on the phone, it could be, after small talk, hey, there's a reason, Harvey, there's a reason I called you today. And it's very specific. I just engaged in a new business, to add an extra stream of income to my life. And if everything works out the way I believe it's going to work out, it's going to be incredible. And so my question to you is, are you open to other streams of income if it were to make sense to you? So you got to ask that question and then stop. Harvey, I just got to ask you, are you open to extra streams of income if it were to make sense to you? And he says, well, yeah, I am. Okay. So here's the thing, the business that I just engaged in
Feel
is a
like there's
company called
anything
Lifeway.
coming through your, put
And
your,
then he says no. And you go, well, here's what I want you to know. We've been the fastest growing company in our industry in the world over the past 2 years. The awards, I could go for the next 10 minutes and talk to you about awards and recognitions, but it's really explosive. And if you could just see what I've seen, I believe it would not only impress you, but it might even blow your mind. There's incredible potential here for you to, over time, over a 2 to 5 year period, to really add some incredible income stream to your life. And so I want to direct you to a Zoom, because I'm newer, and I want to direct you to a Zoom where you can process all that information and see it for yourself. But you got to see it through the eyes of an expert. My business partners have been in longer than I have, and they can articulate the message here. They, much more fluent than I can, or much more fluid than I can. And that's what you need to see it through. You need to see it through a presentation so that you can process that. It's all about processing information, Harvey. And once you process that information, I think you're going to be excited as I am. So can I, so then you give them times, do you have time tonight to jump on this Zoom? Can I put you on this Zoom tonight and check it out? Or you copy and paste the recording and send to them. Or it's, hey, can I set up a time where you can talk to my business partners? And then he says, yeah, okay, great. Because I want my business partners to lay this out to you so that you can totally understand it and process this. So do you have 20 minutes that you can allocate for that? And you do, and you set that appointment, whether it's a 3-way phone call with your business partner, whether it's a private Zoom, if necessary, with your business partners, or if you're directing them to a Zoom, which you're getting eyeballs on Zooms, and it's really that simple.
Yeah, and another thing that I'll add is so what we need to be as upline support team is making sure that we stay focused on what what the person that's requesting the 3-way, stay focused on what they want focused on. So if it's about the product, then stay focused on the product, and then help them understand, the different ways to get started. Because if your person's new, then that's just something that you're always going to assist with. But like yesterday, I was on a 3-way phone call, and the person said, "Hey, Diane, I'd love for you." We had the conversation about product. We confirmed what she wanted to do when it was in the way of getting started. And then she said, "Hey, Diane, would you mind sharing with Betty what's happened with you with the opportunity? Because I know she's an entrepreneur, she's very influential, and I believe once she sees what this product does for her, it might be something that she'd be excited about sharing too." And so she opened the door for me to share more about the opportunity. So that was something that she was giving me permission for. And I would say, "Hey, Betty, is that something you would want to know more about?" Just responding back, again, keeping the conversation very casual, organic, not pushing or forcing anything on the person that we're having the conversation with, because we know the whole key is get stickers on bodies, right? Like, we want this technology on every single body. The technology is going to take care of itself. And, as just like Carrie said, be great at following up and so on and so forth. But it is amazing when you work as a team. Like, one of the biggest things that I would say is where it becomes hard and it becomes, where you start to feel like, is this even working? Is if you're doing it alone. Like, do not do this alone. You want to understand the importance of using your support team and using the people that are there to help you, because this is how you get your on-the-job training, by being on the Zooms with them, by being on the 3-way phone calls with them, by sitting, in the living rooms with them, or whatever the case may be, that you're having these settings of real conversations and how to share this. And this is how you start to develop your own way of talking, because you're never going to sound just like him, just like me, just like Carrie, but you're going to pick up these one-liners that are going to be key things that you're always saying over and over and over. And that's, that becomes, your own personality in the way that you say it.
Yeah, it's short phrases. Just like when I just gave you just a little method of me calling out, I say other things than that. But it is short phrases, that you pick up. For example, if I've called my buddy and I'm saying, "Have you ever heard of LifeWave?" and he says no, sometimes the phrase might be, "Well, here's the thing. I believe I've just found the greatest business I've ever seen in this industry, and I believe they have the most disruptive technology in the marketplace today. And when you have a technology and it's proprietary and it's patented, no one else in the world has it. So there's really very little competition. And what that means is, when you have something like that, the whole world needs that. And because there's such a demand there's an explosive opportunity to capture incredible market share dollars and build another stream of income. And this company is the fastest growing company in the world in its industry over the past 2 years. We just earned award after award after award that even validates that, which I'll show you later on. But it's really an incredible opportunity for you to see. It's nothing like you've ever seen. And if all I know is if you could see what I've seen. So you got to pick up phrases like this. All I know, Harvey, is if you could just see what I've seen and see it the way I've seen it. because I can't read. I'm kind of like a trailer for a movie, Harvey. I just saw the movie, but I don't have it memorized. I can't just now show you the whole movie because you don't want to see it through me. I want to take you to the movie. I want to take you to a presentation where you can process information. That's another phrase you need to pick up, Harvey. I need you to be able to process the information, because making a book and write this down, because in making a good business decision, you have to see the information and you have to process the information. And I know Carrie is probably about to chime in, and she needs to, because we need to go back and forth. But I the reason why we were on the patch for 8 months and weren't doing the business, Carrie, we enrolled Carrie just to get her on the patches. We weren't working this as a business. Carrie decides to start working it as a business 5.5 months before we did. It was Carrie's success and her excitement and her passion that actually recruited us into the business, and we were her sponsors. Okay, so why is that? It's because Diane and I had not processed any of the information. We didn't see what Carrie saw. We weren't looking at what Carrie was looking at, and we weren't processing the information Carrie was processing. And so it took Carrie to say, guys, you're not looking at this. You haven't seen what I've seen. This is exactly what Carrie told us. Carrie recruited us. She recruited her own sponsors. You haven't seen what I've seen, and here's what I've seen. The leadership, she's talking about the leadership, David Schmidt. She talked about the compensation plan, just in general, and the system, and you haven't seen any of it. And that got us to look at it. And so after we process the information, bam, we're in. Carrie?
Yeah. And here's the thing is I tell people all the time, like, you just always have to remember what he just said. People, so because a lot of times, we think that a no is a no. And I mean, it wasn't one of those that I was like, oh, they're going to make or break it, right? I knew if they saw what I saw that they would understand it and they could change a lot of lives and we would be doing this together. That was my heart, right? Because I would say, gosh, there's nothing like this. We've never seen anything like it. But sometimes, somebody will push back on us that we share it with, and we might just run off and think, oh, this isn't for me. And so, some people resist. Some people might even violently oppose, as you feel, and then they join you. And the reality is just that they've got to be able to see a bigger picture. And that's a really true statement, because whenever you think, oh, well, they're not interested, it's not that they're not interested. They just haven't seen it yet. Yeah. And so you've got to find a way to get information in front of them. And I love what he said. I always tell people, even to this day, I know what to say, but I am simply the intro. Still, if I meet someone out in the shopping center, I'm the intro. I want to get them to the preview so they'll watch the movie. And the movie's not me. I'm promoting the Zoom, whether it's Danny, Diane, Joe, I'm always promoting something other than me. Why? Because, well, what we do always duplicates. And so how we take a person through the process is how they're going to take people through the process. And we just have to know that. So if you tell a person everything, well, then they expect you're going to tell their next person everything. And it can get rather long for you to have every conversation. And I just try to explain to people, there's a 1.5-minute video that explains what is phototherapy, that people get the aha of how this works. It would take you 30 minutes to try to chisel down some preconceived notions in their brain, right? They'll keep asking questions, and 30 minutes later, they still don't understand how this works. But a 1.5-minute video it's going to tell them what is phototherapy and really explain it. So the more we can use that, the better off it is. And so once we get a person to see what we're seeing, they're way more apt to want to move forward, right, and get started. I love, how systematic that I keep it. And so I've seen several people say, when do you send the order form? When do you transition? Almost immediately when people watch, if you're excited, if there's listen, I'm going to just say this, people need to hear your voice, because just being able, like you heard Dan say, I'll text, when can you chat, right? She's not explaining what it is on that. They need to hear her voice. You need to be able to talk to people. But I tell people, like, if you'll just call them with excitement and then introduce me, right? Introduce someone. I don't care how it looks. And so we use that same copy and paste message, but to introduce someone. And I've got people that can literally get me on literally through a text, because they're good at edifying and they're good at introducing, and they've sent this as info, and they've literally tell people what to do. And in that text, almost instantly, 100% of the time. In fact, I would probably think it's about 100% success rate for some of them, because they're good at connecting. They're good at getting someone to the preview, right? And so I love that, because you can take a person that maybe doesn't have the confidence or the time. If they're very successful and busy, don't leave them out. They're engaging with a lot of folks. Just tell them, hey, if you'll just connect me. But reality is that we've got people, when they watch those first 3 videos on This Is It, almost always that they'll say, how do I order? How do I get started? Like, they don't see a link there. There's nowhere to go, right? And so that's just a landing page for us all to use. And so it's a real cool, quick conversation. And so I'm constantly getting people started, usually within just the first brief interaction. Maybe they've looked at This Is It info for 10, 15 minutes. And then, because most people, listen, they don't need a deep dive. And I heard Danny say this best the other day, and I actually used it in my last meeting. And as I was explaining this, I said, you're going to get a great overview tonight, and you're going to learn all about what X39 does. And I said, and we're going to show you where to look at research. And I go, but this was at a restaurant. Everybody had ordered food. I said, but the truth is I didn't see one of y'all ask that cute little waitress where the food came from, what kind of oil they cooked it in. No one did their research here tonight. Because that's what, sometimes people will push back. Well, I want to see more research. Or once again, just remember, don't get frustrated with people. We just show them what they need to see, because a lot of people, if you have that, and here's the thing, Diane called me and I immediately said, how fast will it get here? How do I get started? Send me a link. What's taking Danny so long? Why hasn't he gotten rolled out? I was just like back and forth. Not everybody's going to respond like that. We know that. We want you to know that. So yes, I responded instantaneously. Not everyone does. Some people give a little pushback. Some people need to see research. It's strange when it's your family, right? Because you're not a researcher by trade, but okay. And so we just constantly put whatever they need to see. But it's always going to be about how fast can they see something else other than you. I will say third-party credibility will always move the ball down the field. And when I had that conversation with Danny and Diane, the truth is I had not done one single presentation. I trusted the system. I was just talking to people every day, getting them into the system, getting their orders in, and then getting them on a Zoom. And so, and one other thing I'll say before I turn it back, Danny, is this. Every situation is different because, we talk about our system, and I always say, I talk to them, I send the information, I get them their order in, I get them on a Zoom. Well, here's the reality. Somebody the other day said, well, I haven't got their order. I mean, I've got it, but I told them until they watch the Zoom. I'm like, no, 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 no. Everything's not black and white when it comes to how we do things. So nobody has to watch a Zoom before they say yes to getting this technology, right? And so just know that as we teach people our system, that the Zoom is not priority. If somebody says I'm ready, and listen, I've literally been in the store talking to somebody and they say, how do I get it? I'm not going to say, well, you need to go look at the link first, or you need to go watch a Zoom first. I'm going to say, I just need your information and I can get you set up. Like, I'm taking the order. I'm getting someone started. Above all else, like Diane said, a sticker on a body is our number one goal, because without a sticker on a body, nobody's going to do anything anyway, right? We've got to start changing their life. And when we do, some people respond instantly, some in time. You have to be patient. Here's what I've always said, and I'm telling you it's the truth. Timing and circumstances for everyone are different. Now, there are people that we talk to that need this technology, and so do the people they love the day we talk to them. But it doesn't mean that they're going to say yes on the day we talk to them. And so, there's a prime example. Year. They needed it as well as their
Hey
family
guys,
needed
hold
it
on.
on
I'm
day
gonna go
one,
ahead
but
and
timing and
stop this
circumstances just weren't right.
recording
But I was diligent in the follow-up.
because okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording right here because I want to get some Q&A on this, and she really hit the meat of kind of what we do in taking ownership. Let me get this screen out of here, guys. Hold on here a second. Okay. So that's some powerful training, right? Very powerful. You're looking at folks who are making between $2 to $3 million a year, and they're telling you how they got there. It's about as simple as it gets, right? And what is Carrie doing? She has a basic conversation, and if people are ready to sign up, she's going to sign them up, and she's going to send them this is at info.com, and tell them to watch the first three videos. Now, if you haven't watched the first three videos on this at info.com, then it's very important that you now get on thisisit.info.com, thisisit.info.com, watch those first three videos. It's a very powerful way that if someone's interested and you're reaching out to a friend and say, listen, I'm super excited about something. What is it? Well, about stem cells. Well, I've come across this amazing technology, and and she keeps it brief. We keep it brief, and I want to see if you see what I see. I'm going to send you a link, and and I'm going to give you a call back in 10, 15 minutes. Take a look at the first three videos. And boom, she's following up with them. And so that's something because now like you said, it's important that they see something, right? And now you follow up because you're taking ownership. You're not waiting for them to call you back. You're calling them back. You always want to be in control of follow through and follow up. And particularly if you say, so, hey, I'm going to call you back in 10 minutes. Take a look at this. I'm excited and, want to see if you see what I see. And then from there, it's just a matter of you either use your support team to help you get on a call with them to answer some more questions. And if you're brand new, and that's what we'll do, and then we'll help you and get them signed up. All right, so I want to open up for some Q&A right now. I want to know, if you have some questions, fire away at them. We've got 7 minutes here, and then remember, at 8 o'clock there's going to be an amazing Zoom. You want to be grabbing some family and friends who have never seen this before. You want to be on that 8 o'clock Zoom, and so.
Hey,
But
Ken, it's Rudy. I got two questions real
go
quick.
ahead, Rudy.
That text message that she sent, they said it
Yeah.
was is it in our school, Believers for Life School?
We've got it. We've got a text message in Believers for Life School, and we're gonna get hers also. It's very similar, and
Okay.
so we'll have that over hopefully sometime tonight.
And the second question is, will there be a replay of what we're watching tonight
Yes,
on,
there'll be a replay.
on Believers for Life?
Yeah, we're gonna put actually their full. It was a 2 hour training on Believers for Life, so you'll be able to. We edited that down, and so
Right.
so yes,
Pretty powerful. Thank you, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Absolutely. We're blessed to be able to do this because the rest of the team isn't seeing this. It's only Dan McDaniel's team and us. All right. Who else got a question?
Hey Ken, Henry here.
Henry.
How you doing, bud?
Good, my friend. How you doing?
Very good. I was just going to ask, what was she was talking about the transition from going to talking about the business or going to placing the order. Does she go right into the order form? Does she send them an order form, or how does she? I don't recall her going through
Yeah,
that
they
process.
don't they didn't this but she will they'll actually, she'll text them the order form, you know, and and she's good at that. She's good at sending them the information and then send them an order form when she's following up. So that's what she's doing.
Okay, so she's just going to send them 1 month, or is she going to talk about the business there? Because the more package you buy up front, the less it costs. So is that point she going to talk about the
She's going to
business,
talk.
or
She's going to talk. Well, what initially when you're leading like that, you're going to read the person you're talking to. 85% of the people are going to be interested in getting on the path. So they're not thinking about building the business, right? So when she's talking about a 20 pack, an 11 pack, a 6 pack, she's talking about basically just on the health basis. I mean, she came in at a 20 pack just to get enough product for her and her family. It's 1 month for every 10 years of life. It's the cheapest way to get the product. Get a 20 pack. You're not going to go wrong because now you got enough for you and your family and to be able to get started. And, she starts with that and then takes it on down to their belief in affordability to the 11 pack, the 6 pack, and the 3 pack.
okay? All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. Okay. Who else? Got about 4 more minutes here, 3 more minutes. Who got any nuggets out of this? What nugget did you get?
Well, for me, I think I like it when Danny said that this is the most disruptive technology in this industry.
Period.
I think that's really was really good for me, because it is, and it's kind of hard to relay that information to somebody. Even if you're really excited, it's kind of hard to relay that information right away because they don't know. They have no idea. So that was really
Great,
good. I'll
great
be
point.
using
That's why
that.
they need to see something. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to send you this at info.com. Take a look at the first 3 videos and I'll call you back. I
right.
love that format.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did like that.
Yeah. All right, who else? Number 2 more minutes here, guys. And I hope everybody's screens aren't being shown because you're off doing something else and you're just passing the time because you're missing out. If you ain't leaning in, you're leaning out.
Ken, I just want to say overall, everything we heard is it's powerful. And I tell you, this replay is going to be gold just to
Yeah.
get some of the verbiage down. I mean, it's constantly learning, you know, and that I tell people I'm back in school, but my education, it doesn't cost me things at time.
Yeah.
And that's it right there. If I put in the time, I get educated, I can build this thing big. So this is powerful tonight, man. And I can't wait to just share it with my new downline who couldn't be on tonight, but they're going to see this. I'm sending it to them. This is what they need to
Awesome.
hear.
Yep.
Thanks, Ken.
Great. Yeah, you bet, Rudy. You know, guys, you just stay. It's funny. I used to go to AA years ago, and they say, just keep coming back. Just, just keep coming back. Just keep showing up. So no lie. And consistency in this business wins. When you're discouraged or defeated or down, just keep coming back and you'll get blessed and you'll pick back up and you'll plug in, you'll start signing more people up, you'll learn new things. So consistency is extremely powerful in this, and I love this opportunity because I always learn something new. And it's so funny. Sometimes I feel like I don't know if I want to listen to this next Zoom because I listen to extra Zooms and beyond what we're doing. And I'm kind of busy, you know. I'm like, and every time I do, like, oh, I'm so glad. And so when I'm clean, like, well, my pool cleaner, he couldn't make it this week, so I'm out. My neighbor's tree is dumping leaves in my pool. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and do that, but I got to make sure I'm listening to something. I'm putting Danny and Diane or listening to something in my ears. I've got to be fueling myself, you know, and oh, that's awesome. I'll get another nugget and I'll adjust what I'm learning to say. And I've been doing this for 40 months and I'm still realizing, man, I need to improve. And I love this opportunity because while you're learning, you're still making money, you know? So, hey guys, we're going to wrap this up right now. You know, and the next, you've got it. Listen, if you're new, you want to watch this next Zoom that's going to happen here at 8 o'clock with Rick and Brittany Francis on the Visit team. And I do believe we've got that, you know, that's in our school and our calendar. And if you don't have it, ask your upline, they'll send it to you because you don't want to miss Rick and Brittany Francis because you're going to learn so many nuggets on how they give a presentation that you could give the presentation to. And you're going to wish that you had 10 of your friends on that dang call, right? But it's recorded and it will be able to be sent back out. So, alrighty, guys, hey, it's been an honor to be with you and looking forward to be able to help you. And remember, hey, I'm here as your active support, part of your support team. So, on helping you get this introduced to your family and friends, looking forward to some private Zooms and one-on-one, three-way calls with you. So, and that's how this thing all boils down to getting your next person signed up. This whole thing boils down to let's get your next person signed up, right? And then we'll do it again. Alrighty, guys, well, it's been a blessing. Look forward to connecting with you guys tomorrow night on our 7 p.m. team Zoom. And check the calendar out for all these other Zooms going on. And hopefully see you guys on this next Zoom too. I'm going to text some people right now myself. Alrighty, guys, blessings. It's been great to be with you.